Okay, so if you're watching this video, you're probably looking for the best neighborhoods to shop at in Manhattan. Now, Manhattan is known for its shopping scene. However, not every neighborhood is good for shopping in New York City. Now, every neighborhood has some type of shop, whether it's grocery stores or small convenience stores, or just little shops here and there. But there are a couple locations that people go to specifically for shopping. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about in this video is Midtown, specifically Fifth Avenue in Midtown. Now, that's going to be probably one of the most famous shopping areas of all of New York City. Now, the shopping area in Midtown kind of starts around 42nd Street-ish. Like, some people say it does start on 42nd Street. I think you kind of need to go a little bit further north, I would say, to get to a lot of shops that you might know. But it does start around 42nd Street, so if you are in that area, you can just go to 42nd Street and then just walk all the way up and then just start walking north on Fifth Avenue. So how do you know you're going north? So if you don't know where you are, if you start on 42nd Street, so you should be passing 43rd Street, 44th Street, 45th Street, and so on. They're all just numbered streets in that neighborhood. So that's how you're gonna know if you're going in the right direction. I definitely don't recommend going downtown on Fifth Avenue. There's not as much shopping there. So those are gonna be all of your like name brand stores that pretty much everybody knows and loves. So you're gonna find a lot of that on Fifth Avenue. Around the holidays, it's a great spot to really just go and see like all the lights that they put up around there, all the famous like window displays and like lights on stores. So that's all pretty much taking place on Fifth Avenue, except for the only exception from that is Macy's, which is over in Herald Square in Midtown. So that's the only one that's in a different area, but all the other ones are gonna be up on Fifth Avenue going towards Central Park, so towards uptown. So once you get to about 59th Street on Fifth Avenue, if you want to continue shopping, you could then head east to Madison. So head to Madison Ave and then keep going north. So keep going uptown in the Upper East Side. And that's another kind of shopping district. I kind of count it all as one because it's just so close to each other that you can easily just do that all in one shopping trip. But they are technically two different, I guess, shopping areas because one's in Midtown and one is considered part of the Upper East Side. So that's going to be another place where you can continue shopping. However, that's going to be very, very high-end luxury type of places. So not that those don't exist in Midtown, because they do as well, but when you're in the Upper East Side on Madison, that's going to be pretty much all very high-end luxury shops. But it is fun to walk around there even if you're not really shopping, and it's right near Central Park, so there's a lot to do in that area, a lot of different dining options and coffee shop options as well, so I do recommend that area a lot for shopping. Now, another area that has kind of become more of like a new shopping destination in New York City is Hudson Yards. So Hudson Yards is a neighborhood, but it's also known for the Hudson Yards Mall. So you might have seen pictures of like the Vessel, which we'll put up here in this video somewhere. Now, this is probably the most famous architecture piece that people recognize about New York City when talking about Hudson Yards. So this is in Hudson Yards, and behind that is what you're seeing is the mall. So that mall is filled with high-end stores, but also some more like affordable like stores that everybody knows, like H&M, Zara's in there. It does range, I would say, the shopping experience there. So if you're looking to get like clothing while shopping, like that's gonna be a good option for you. There's a lot of good options in there. Now, Hudson Yards is also really great for dining. There's a lot of like fine dining establishments in Hudson Yards and the surrounding area, but also I do think that recently they've been adding in some more like kind of like affordable casual spots as well, if you want to just grab something quick, like a quick bite to eat. So that's something that over the past year I've noticed that they've been adding a lot more of that to Hudson Yards, so you can easily do that as well. Now, again, during the holidays, that location is absolutely gorgeous. They have so many lights that they have on display in the Hudson Yards Mall during the holidays. I think they said that last year they used 1 million lights in the mall, which is crazy. So if you haven't seen any pictures or haven't been there yourself yet, I highly do suggest going around the holidays to see Hudson Yards Mall. But at the same time, just be prepared because it's so beautiful that there's just so many people coming in and out of the mall. Like, there's a lot of tourists there. So you just want to keep that in mind. Maybe go on like an off time or during a weekday, because then you can still get the same experience. There's just less people there if you can. Now, the third place on the list is going to be Soho, which is definitely going to come to like no surprise to pretty much anybody. Soho is definitely like the capital of shopping in New York City. So if you go on Broadway, the street Broadway in New York City, that's going to be where most of the big name shopping is going to be, in Soho. Now, I want you to pay attention because there's the street called Broadway in Soho, and then there's also West Broadway, two different streets. One is the main Broadway area, and then the other one is west of Broadway, so it's called West Broadway. So West Broadway is going to be filled with more like some little small boutique places, but also like a little bit more like restaurants and cafe style places, while the shopping is pretty much going to be on Broadway. Now there's also a lot of smaller boutiques and little places on the outside streets in Soho as well, so that's very underrated. Like, don't forget to walk some of the side streets if you're going to Soho, but most people are going to be on Broadway. And when you're on Broadway, especially in the nicer months, it is crazy packed with tourists and people just coming in and out of the city. And it's a beautiful street. I don't blame them. You know, everybody should see Soho at some point in time. But it can just be a little bit frustrating if you are there trying to get some shopping done and then there's just tons of people everywhere. So just be aware of that, because in the summer, especially when it's really, really nice out, Soho just gets really, really, really packed. So those are going to be the main spots in Manhattan that you can go to shop at. So there's definitely some good shopping options outside of Manhattan, in and around New York City, and I'm definitely going to go over those in like a separate video, but for now I just wanted to keep this video specifically to Manhattan. So if you guys have any other like suggestions or something to add to this video, please let me know in the comments, because like always, I would love to hear from you guys. And I also want to know specifically, what is your favorite area to shop at in New York City?